And welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the negative space marker design. Now, earlier in the year we talked about the element space. There are two aspects of space. There is the aspect of trying to make things look like they have depth, like they go further back in space. And the other way to look at it is with positive and negative space. Now, positive space is the area that the object takes up. So that is the actual mass of the object. The other way to look at it is the negative space. So that is the area that is around the objects. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with negative space, and we are also going to be working with repetition and pattern. Okay, so if you look at this one that we have here, the way that this works is we take some objects, we are going to outline them, and then we're going to do our patterns that go right up to the edge of those objects. And the pattern that we create is the thing that actually makes those objects. You can see how with this one here, that the pattern goes right up to the edge of it, and then it works its way around. There isn't actually an outline. It's just the pattern that is creating it. So if we look all around it, it's the way that it works. We got a pair of pliers. This is a spool from fishing line. We've got a knife here, and then this is a type of hacksaw. Okay, so we're going to look at a bunch of examples here. This one is they got a little bit more with the pattern as far as, and it's a lot more open design, so you can see a lot of the white showing through it. So you have more of a solid design and you have an open design. Sometimes with the open design, as you get over here, you kind of see that you kind of lose the shape of that object. So sometimes it might not be the best idea to have an open design near the object itself. Now, if we look at this pattern here, this looks like an outline, but really it isn't, because it is a pattern because it repeats itself. So it goes blue, violet, black, blue, violet, black. So it's repeating itself over and over and over, just like over here, how it repeats itself around this roll tape. So that is the only little caveat to doing an outline. So this is the only way that that can happen. Okay, so if we look how this one here, it goes violet, orange, green, and then it stops. That is not a pattern, so that does not count. Again, we've got a combination here of solid designs. We've got a combination and open designs. You can do that. You can have all as one thing. You can have all as the other, or you can do a combination. Does not matter. Okay, we've got some here. You can see where you've got some lines coming out where they repeat the colors. Oops. This is one that is incomplete, but it is also one that they did wrong. They went around and they outlined all of the objects and then started from there. So this blue line is not part of any of these patterns. That is incorrect. That is wrong. Do not do that. And here we just got a couple others. Here's another incomplete one. So what you're going to do is you're going to look around your house. You're going to find some objects, and let's try and zoom in. So we're going to find some objects. We're going to lay them out on the page. We're going to use the 9x12 piece of paper, and we're going to lay these out on the page in an interesting fashion. We want to have 3 to 4 objects depending on how big they are. You can have more if they're really, really tiny objects, like a paper clip or something like that. So let's lay these out here and kind of see how they're going to play off of each other. So we're going to change that. We're going to make that point into that. We're going to come perpendicular, and we'll do that. That looks interesting. We'll kind of space this down a little bit. Really look at it and see how the things are going to play off of each other. So we got kind of a nice line that's perpendicular to this. So that works out well. So we're going to hold these things in place and try and get your pencil straight up and down. And we're going to wrap and go around the objects. We're just going to straight up trace them, because if you were to try to draw all of these things out, it wouldn't be quite the same. And try not to let things move on you. So there's that. We'll get the chip clip. Now, if you have little openings like this, get that drawn in. And get pliers. Whoa. Some objects are going to hold still a little better than others. Now, to get this inside, I'm actually just going to open this up and trace that. Go like this. And then I'm going to flip it around, get my line over here, and then do the same thing. So there's my pliers, and then this is my square. Okay. Now, when you go to do this, you want to kind of go around, kind of clean up your edges if you made any little mistakes. Scissors don't have little points on them like this. And we want to kind of come up with a pattern. Now, ideally, you're going to use markers. If you don't have markers, you can use colored pencils, you can use crayons, but we want to really get that nice bold color that's down there. So I'm going to just pick a couple colors here, same color family. So we've got blue, green, and red. Or blue, green, and violet. Sorry about that. And I'm picking those just because they're all cool colors and they're going to work well together. So I'm just going to do a little small section of it here. And so I'm going to do kind of the area inside of the rulers here. Now you can draw it out ahead of time just to kind of see what it is you're going to do. You don't have to, but so I'm going to kind of make a wave, and I'm going to go right up to this edge. And because this is all part of this one object, or this one pattern here that I'm creating, so I can fill that in, set that aside. Hopefully it stays aside. And then I'm going to come in with the blue, and I'm going to replicate that same shape and go right up next to it. Now, I am doing everything in the negative space that is around the objects. Remember, the objects themselves are going to stay white. So you want to stay away from putting color in those objects. Now, in order for this to be a pattern, it has to repeat. So as soon as I get this in here, I'm going to come back with that violet and going to do the same thing. I'm trying to keep the same feel of the pattern of the line, so this is going to have to come up a little bit, but I'm going to repeat this at least once. So I want to make at least 2 cycles of the color. It has to do that in order for it to be a pattern. If it doesn't repeat all the way through, then it is not a pattern. So I've got blue right here, and then I'll get the green on the outside of it. Now, as far as where to stop with one pattern, there is no real rhyme or reason as far as where you want to stop and go on to the next one. So it just kind of, you need to feel and look and pay attention. And whoop, a little wide there. That's okay. So we'll just, before I put color down there, I'll just bring this blue, bring that out a little bit. So as far as where to stop, like with here, I have a good place to stop because I'm at the tip of the scissors. So then I would come up with another pattern that's going to play off of the one that I've got here. So I come in and do something else. You know, whether it's another solid pattern like this, or if it's this pattern that has some open space to it, that is entirely up to you. But so that's one pattern. I'm going to go through and do the entire page. And once the entire page is done, then that will be it. So the way this will work, we'll do one day to get the lines drawn out, and then we'll do kind of one day, second day we'll be getting a third of it done. Second day or third day we'll be getting the second third done, and then on the last day get the whole thing done. And that's all I've got for you. So remember, just you can draw it out ahead of time. You don't have to. You can use marker, you can use colored pencil, you can use crayons. Just get that nice bold color put down on your page. Good luck.